Greetings, B-movie aficionados.
Okay, so welcome to Couple of Flicks. I'm Tristan.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Zach.
And for this, we're going to be talking about the Oscar nominees and kind of and be elaborating, I guess, on sort of what we've seen and, you know, what our opinions are, I guess. And I managed to miracle it somehow and see all the Best Picture nominees. So I pretty much have an opinion on all of them. And so, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and give this a shot here. Hold on just a minute. Okay, so for the first category, it's actor in a leading role. And you guys can elaborate on. Yeah. So the nominees this year are Antonio Banderas for Pain and Gain, which I have not seen. Leonardo DiCaprio for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which both of you have seen that one, right? Okay. Yep. Adam Driver for Marriage Story. Joaquin Phoenix for Joker, and Jonathan Pryce for The Two Popes. So, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I haven't seen Pain and Gain or The Two Popes.
Okay.
Yeah, those are the two I haven't seen either.
Yeah. Well, I did see The Two Popes. And Jonathan Pryce was pretty good. I mean, he's a pretty underrated actor. And so it's kind of cool that he got nominated, but I don't know about winning Best Actor though, personally. So.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna have to go with Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joker.
That was a pretty cool performance. That's kind of what I'm thinking is going to end up winning.
Yeah, that's what I'm leaning towards as well.
Yeah. I think Joaquin Phoenix, that's probably who I want to win, but I wouldn't mind seeing DiCaprio win for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood personally, just because like if he did end up winning for that, I wouldn't be upset.
Yeah.
You know? So.
Yeah, I'd say either of those two.
Yeah. And do either of you have any thoughts on Adam Driver?
Or... I watched Marriage Story today, actually.
Yeah.
I watched it today. It was good.
Yeah. And that was a good performance.
And I like Adam Driver, too. So.
Yeah, me too.
I enjoyed it, but he's always going to be Kylo Ren from now on.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. That's the thing. Okay, so then the next category is actor in a supporting role. And the nominees are Tom Hanks for Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, Anthony Hopkins for The Two Popes, Al Pacino for The Irishman, Joe Pesci for The Irishman, and Brad Pitt for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I'm rooting for Joe Pesci personally.
Yeah.
You know. So,
yeah, I hope he wins.
Yeah.
He was really good for that.
Yeah, agreed.
I'd say either Pesci or Brad Pitt, just for that one scene.
Oh yeah.
That's beautiful. That was a beautiful performance.
Yeah.
And then did any of you see Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood?
I
did not. No.
Yeah. I didn't really want to see it just because like I'd already seen that documentary, you know, Won't You Be My Neighbor, and that was amazing.
Yeah.
But like
I saw that as well.
Yeah, that was good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I kind of feel like it. Like there's not really any point in like making a fictional film about Mr. Rogers, I guess. You know, I'm sure it's good. I'll check it out eventually, but I don't know, it wasn't really anything I was interested in watching, you know. So okay, so actress in a leading role. Cynthia Erivo for Harriet, which I haven't seen but I want to. Scarlett Johansson for Marriage Story, Saoirse Ronan for Little Women, Charlize Theron for Bombshell, and Renee Zellweger for Judy. I'm rooting for Scarlett Johansson because she's Scarlett Johansson, but I'm kind of thinking that Renee Zellweger is probably going to end up winning. You know.
Yeah, the only one I've actually seen of this category is Marriage Story. So
Yeah, same
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Well, Saoirse Ronan is always good. In Little Women, I've pretty much liked all of her performances, except for that one in the Bones, whatever that stupid movie was. I didn't see Bombshell. I don't really want to see Bombshell.
No.
I'm sure it's good, but I'm not interested in the subject. Let's see, actress in a supporting role, Kathy Bates for Richard Jewell, which I have not seen, but I'd like to because I do like Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, I want to see that too.
Yeah, and I also like Kathy Bates. Laura Dern in Marriage Story, Scarlett Johansson for Jojo Rabbit,
Oh,
Florence Pugh for Little Women, and Margot Robbie for Bombshell. I'm kind of divided on this one because I actually thought that Pugh did a really good job in Little Women, but I don't know. I think it'd be interesting if Laura Dern won, you know. And Scarlett Johansson, of course. I mean, I'm always gonna root for her. Like, if she won, like I'd probably be happiest. But realistically, she probably won't win. So,
yeah.
yeah,
I don't
again, the only one I saw was Marriage Story.
yeah,
So like
Okay.
Jojo Rabbit was one of the ones I was hoping to watch,
yeah,
but couldn't find it anywhere.
yeah,
Yeah, I saw it.
yeah. I did too. And yeah, we'll elaborate on that later. Okay, animated feature film. The nominees are How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World, I Lost My Body, Klaus, Missing Link, and Toy Story 4.
Huh.
And the only one of these I've seen is Toy Story 4.
Same.
Yeah.
I do love the How to Train Your Dragon films. I do want to see this new one, but I haven't yet. So
And Disney usually always wins anyways, right?
yeah, pretty much. So, but I have heard that Klaus is really good.
Yeah, I have heard that too.
Yeah.
It's got won a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
apparently.
Yeah, even though Toy Story 4 wasn't necessary, it was still decent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I liked it, but it wasn't like it didn't. I don't know. The first one will always be my favorite, you know. So, but
For sure, yeah.
yeah. Best cinematography. The Irishman, Joker. By the way, do you want me to say the names of the people who did the cinematography or no?
If you want.
Okay, well, you know, I didn't say the names for all the other nominees, so I'm not going to say them for that. I'll just stick with the actors and actresses and stuff. All right, Irishman, Joker, The Lighthouse, 1917, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. As much as I would love to see The Lighthouse win for best cinematography because I adore The Lighthouse and it's the only freaking award it got nominated for.
Yeah,
Realistically speaking, I think 1917 is going to get
yeah,
that
that's
one.
what I was thinking was gonna win too.
Yeah, because that was pretty. I mean, that's pretty hard to beat. So,
Right, it's so good.
and then Joker. I don't even know what the hell it's doing in this category. I mean, cinematography, like,
Right, you got a lot of stuff.
yeah,
somehow.
it looked good, but it didn't look as good as like all these other movies. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was really good. Irishman was really good. Yeah, I'd say 1917 is probably gonna win that one.
That's what I'm going with too.
Yeah,
1917.
yeah. Who knows? Costume design: Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I'm gonna go with Jojo Rabbit, personally. I think it's gonna win best costume design because not only was it specific for the time period, but it also had its own kind of style as well. You know, it managed to combine like a period piece with sort of a personal vision, and it had a distinct look to it. You know, so I think I would go with that one. Although, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I mean, the costumes in that did look pretty cool.
Yeah, that's probably what I would have to go with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although Little Women wasn't bad. I don't know. Joker, I don't know.
I'm gonna go with Little Women.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
It's
All right, touche. Irishman was pretty good too. Well, okay. Anyway, whatever. They're all good, but I'm thinking Jojo Rabbit's gonna win that one. Directing, The Irishman for Martin Scorsese. Joker, Todd Phillips. 1917, Sam Mendes. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Quentin Tarantino, and Parasite, Bong Joon-ho. I hope it's that one.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's gonna be Sam Mendes.
Yeah, it might. Although Martin Scorsese has a pretty damn good chance of winning, because the Oscars, like, they kind of feel. I think at this point they kind of feel like they owe Martin Scorsese something because they've snubbed him so many times, and then they gave him like a Best Picture and Best Director for The Departed, which is a movie that like a lot of Martin Scorsese fans consider his worst, which I don't really think of it as being that bad. I mean, it's about a bunch of 90s super like handsome 90s hunks shooting each other, so of course I'm gonna love that one, you know. But a lot of people don't feel like that should have won. That should have been the film of his to win Best Picture. And since The Irishman's getting a lot of praise, I'm kind of thinking that one might win both Best Director and Best Picture. That's my opinion, you know. But having said that, I kind of would wish I wish that Bong Joon-ho or Joon-ho Bong would win it. Best documentary. Oh wait, do you guys have any thoughts on that?
Documentary?
Or on the Best Director?
I think
Oh.
Sam Mendes is gonna get it.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think Tarantino might win it?
Nah, not for this one.
No, probably not. They're gonna wait till he makes his last movie, which
Yeah.
apparently will be his next one. Apparently.
What he keeps saying though.
Yeah. Okay, so best documentary. I've actually seen two of these. I haven't seen American Factory yet, but I want to.
I've seen 0 of these.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I didn't see either of them.
well,
Or any of them, I mean.
well, okay. The nominees are best American Factory, The Cave, The Edge of Democracy, For Sama, and Honeyland. I did see For Sama and Honeyland, and I'm thinking American Factory is probably going to win best documentary, just because it's gotten so much like political buzz, and because I guess the Obamas like produced it,
Not
and then
really.
yeah, and then it was like a big thing on Netflix, and then I think like the Criterion Collection announced that they were going to end up releasing it. So I think there's a pretty good chance that American Factory is probably going to win that one. But having said that, I personally hope that it goes to Honeyland, and I'll talk about that on another episode. But Honeyland, of the two documentaries I saw, that's the one I like more, and they were both amazing documentaries. But Honeyland, I'd recommend. Documentary short subject. I didn't see any of these. Should I even read them?
I didn't see
Yeah.
any of
I
them.
didn't see any of them either.
Yeah.
Nope.
Film editing: Ford versus Ferrari, The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Parasite. I'd say
Hmm.
I'm gonna go with Parasite. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Parasite. Although Ford versus Ferrari did have good editing, I will say, and so did The Irishman.
Yeah, I'll go with Parasite too.
Yeah, I'd have to go with that one. I don't know. What is your opinion?
Yeah, I think Parasite for sure. It was like most tightly edited, I feel.
Yeah, and also it was edited in a very appropriate way too. Like it was like it was the kind of movie that it had a good pace to it. Like it wasn't too slow, but it wasn't too fast either. Like
Yeah.
like it took its time, but in a good way. Best international feature film, like this is obviously gonna go to Parasite.
Yeah.
Because it got but Pain and Glory. I mean, you know, I do like Pedro Almodovar, but I doubt that he's gonna get anything this year. Makeup and hairstyling, and you know, we got to keep our expectations low for this one because remember that Suicide Squad won for this. So, so Bombshell, Joker, Judy, Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, which I forgot was even made, and 1917. I'm gonna go with Judy. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Judy. I didn't see Judy, but I'm gonna just guess that the makeup in it's really good because it's about Judy Garland, so of course they're not gonna mess that up. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Judy.
I'll just go with that too, because the only one I saw was Joker.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, I'll go with Judy as well, I guess.
All right. Cool. Cool.
Lock it in.
Music, original score, Joker, Little Women, Marriage Story, 1917, and Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. As amazing as John Williams is, oh wow, there's 2 Newmans this year. There's Marriage Story, Randy Newman, and 1917, Thomas Newman. I'm gonna go with Randy Newman because I know a lot of people like Toy Story, and a lot of people like Randy Newman, and a lot of people enjoy his stuff. So, and Marriage Story, you know, even though it had the same sound to it as the Toy Story movies, I'm still gonna go with that. I don't know why they went with that with him as composer, but I'm just gonna go with that one because, you know, Randy Newman, who knows?
I probably have to agree with that.
Yeah.
As much as I'd like to see John Williams win,
Mm,
don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah. I mean,
Especially for this one. I don't really remember it.
I of the 3 in the new trilogy, that this actually Rise of Skywalker had my favorite score. But I still don't think he's gonna win.
Yeah.
Best original song. I Can't Let You Throw Yourself Away from Toy Story 4. I'm Gonna Love Me Again, but from Rocket Man. I'm Standing With You from Breakthrough. Into the Unknown from Frozen 2. And Stand Up from Harriet. Actually, that's a pretty cool song. I don't know. I'm just gonna go with since I have it's the only one I really remember. I'm gonna go with Stand Up from Harriet. I did like that song.
The only one I've seen is Toy Story, and I can't even remember the song.
Yeah, neither can I.
But I guess I'll go with the Toy Story one.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I'll go with Toy Story.
Yeah, they're gonna double wham Randy Newman. All right, or no, we're not gonna do best picture yet. Production design: The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. Yeah, I think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, honestly. Just because that did have pretty distinct production design, especially like the set pieces,
Yeah.
the level of detail in them. I mean, even I noticed that, and I never noticed stuff like that. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. I think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I'll probably say the same thing.
Although Irishman was pretty damn good. It'll probably be one of those two, is my guess. Either The Irishman or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I don't know.
Yeah.
And Parasites was amazing, but that's too amazing to be appreciated by the Academy, in my opinion. So.
I'll go with Irishman.
Yeah, Irishman was. It's probably one of the best production designs that Scorsese's had.
Yeah, it was really good.
That was up there with like Hugo. Okay, so short animated film is Desera. Daughter, I guess is the translation. Hair Love, Kit Bull, Memorable, and Sister. I haven't seen any of those.
Nope.
I saw Kit Bull.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty decent, so
Yeah.
I go with that one. And it's I think I
Cool.
think it's Disney.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh yeah, that's you're probably right. Short film live action. I didn't see any of these. Brotherhood, Nita Football Club, The Neighbor's Window. I didn't. Yeah, I don't know.
Nope.
No. Sound editing. Ford versus Ferrari. Joker, 1917. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. I'm gonna go with Ford versus Ferrari for sound editing. Personally, that was pretty amazing.
I didn't see it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, didn't either.
Okay. What do you guys think about Joker, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Star Wars?
I think 1917.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually war films do get good sound design awards. So.
Yeah.
Dunkirk won, I think, for both sound editing and sound.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
Um, I'd like to have Star Wars win something, but
know.
probably not gonna happen.
Yeah. Too many people are talking crap about it. So.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, I don't know. Which film did you think had better sound editing, Joker or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Probably Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, I would have to. Yeah, I'd have to agree. Sound mixing. Ad Astra, Ford versus Ferrari, Joker, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. This one I would definitely go to 1917 because honestly, like the way it was being filmed and the amount of things going on, it's really hard to like actually do sound design for a movie like that, you know. And again, like there was a lot of like, you could tell there was a lot put into it, you know.
Yeah.
It sounded amazing, so I'm gonna go with that one.
I go with 1917 also.
Yeah. Which film did you think had better sound mixing, Joker or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Probably say Once Upon a Time in Hollywood again.
Yeah. Again, I think I would agree. Visual effects: Avengers: Endgame, Irishman, The Lion King, 1917, Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. I'm gonna go with a controversial choice here. You guys will probably think I'm insane, but I'm gonna have to go with The Lion King for visual effects, because even though I didn't think that the movie was as good as the original, and I don't think anybody does, I did think that the photorealism of the animals was pretty outstanding, personally. And yeah, I don't know. I'd say out of these five, and Avengers: Endgame and 1917 and Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, like I liked all of those. The Irishman I didn't think had the greatest visual effects, but I liked the attempt. I'd still have to go with The Lion King ultimately for this one though. So
I didn't see it.
yeah.
I wanted to see it, but I didn't get to see it.
Yeah, it's not bad. I'm thinking of it more as a visual experiment than I am a film. You know,
Mhm.
like I think it was an attempt to just recreate the original film, kind of like what Gus Van Sant did with the original Psycho, how he remade that, but he made the exact same damn movie. You know, to the point where it was like pointless to even watch. I kind of think of The Lion King sort of along the same lines. Like it's an experimental recreation of an animated film, and I thought for what it was fine, you know. But I would still say the original Lion King is the one that's worth seeing. I mean,
Yeah.
um,
I'll give it to Avengers. Saw the rest of them, I guess.
yeah,
Probably gonna have to go with Avengers too.
yeah, it was pretty incredible. All right, writing, adapted screenplay, The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, and The Two Popes. I'll go with this. You see, the thing is, I haven't read any of the. Oh well, yeah, okay. I guess I'll just go with The Irishman because that was a pretty well written movie. So. The Two Popes was really good, but I'd have to say ultimately I'd say The Irishman was more well written than The Two Popes.
I'll go with that too.
Yeah, I'm gonna say The Irishman as well.
But Jojo Rabbit was a
I loved Jojo Rabbit. It was really.
Yeah, I did too, actually. That was a beautiful movie. And Joker, I don't know. I didn't really like the Bruce Wayne stuff. I thought that all that could have been taken out of the movie.
Yeah,
like
kind of lame.
Yeah, it didn't really hurt the movie. It just didn't feel necessary, you know. It kind of just kept on pausing it. And I liked the momentum it had. I liked that it was like going further and further, and then suddenly it had to like take a break and the Wayne thing and all that. Like I don't know. I got tired of that after a while, but
Yeah. So
Aside from that, it was a pretty well written movie, though. I mean, Joaquin Phoenix, like, yeah, I don't know. That was a good one, but I'll go with The Irishman. So. Okay. So writing original screenplay, Knives Out, Ryan Johnson. Marriage Story, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. I think Parasite should win, but I think it's going to ultimately end up going either to Marriage Story, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But honestly, I personally would hope that Parasite wins. So
Yeah. Same
Yeah, I
here.
want to win.
yeah, I do too, like so badly. Okay, so Best Picture. All right, so the nominees are Ford versus Ferrari, The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, Marriage Story, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. Now, what I personally think is going to win is Irishman. I think that I just personally think, because everybody's talking about that one. And again, like I mentioned before, I think a lot of people feel like the Academy Award like owes Martin Scorsese that, and I think even they do too. Like, which I know is just like stupid, like political crap. Ultimately is what it comes down to. Because like, so for example, they didn't give an Oscar to him for Raging Bull. Like that movie didn't win Best Picture. And that's considered like one of the biggest like snubs in Oscar history. And there have been so many years where he's gotten like so many nominees for something and hasn't won. Like Gangs of New York, I remember that entire ceremony. Like every time he got so many nominees, but he didn't win a single thing. Every time they were like going through the nominees, it would cut to a shot of him, and like every time it cut to him, he would just look more and more like frustrated and like, yeah, I'm just smiling through this. Yeah, great. Like, so I think like a lot of people feel like he has kind of been unfairly sort of oppressed, I guess, by the by the Academy, and so I'm just guessing that The Irishman is probably going to win Best Picture. And if it's not The Irishman, it'll probably be 1917, because again, that's a movie that a lot of people are talking about, and a lot of people also kind of like the last, I think, war movie that won Best Picture was The Hurt Locker by Catherine Bigelow, and that was like 10 years ago. So that's the other one that I think a lot of people are hoping wins Best Picture.
Yeah.
My personal choice is Parasite.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I think 1917 is gonna win.
Yeah.
But I want Parasite to win.
Yeah. Yeah. Ultimately, like it like, because, and if you want to talk like a long time since anything, the last film that won Best Picture that was a foreign film, I think, was The Last Emperor.
Oh damn.
Yeah. And that was like in the early 90s or late 80s, the Bertolucci film. And so, and that was an Italian production, which is interesting because it took place in China,
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it's a good movie, but that was the last foreign film that won Best Picture. And then I think before that might have been Chariots of Fire, which was a French film. So that's about it. I mean, those are the last two, and that was like years and years and years ago. So there is reason to believe that Parasite might actually win Best Picture. It could happen.
I hope so.
It has a pretty damn good chance. And the fact that it's the first South Korean film that was nominated for Best Director, that gives it a lot of power.
Yeah, that was nominated for director as well.
Yeah. So who knows? I think honestly that's the one that would most deserve it. But having said that, that's kind of how I felt last year with Roma. I thought out of all the films that came out last year, Roma was the one that clicked with me the most. That's the film that I thought should have won Best Picture. That was, to me, the most groundbreaking film that came out of all the nominees. But it ended up going to Green Book, which you know, I got nothing against that movie, but I don't really think that that film is going to end up being as memorable a film in 10 years as Roma. I felt the same way that when The King's Speech won the year that did. I mean, who even remembers The King's Speech? You know?
I
Like,
never saw it.
yeah. It's a good movie, but like that's all I can say about it was that it was a good movie, you know, and it won Best Picture. So, I mean, I don't know. They're not always right.
Yeah, definitely not.
I know that the year The Shape of Water won, and I loved The Shape of Water, but I was
I love that movie too.
yeah. I adored that film, but I was kind of clamoring for Three Billboards. That was the one I was hoping would win Best Picture. Just because that was the film that I think is going to mean more, you know, 10 years or 20 years from now. You know, The Shape of Water is a great movie, but that's such a singular vision. I don't know. It's hard to really say. But I was hoping that Three Billboards would win.
Yeah, I like Three Billboards a lot as well.
Yeah. You know, unfortunately, I guess it's kind of now become a movie that's cool to hate, you know, just because I guess in a lot of people's opinions, it didn't deal with racism properly, which I don't know. I kind of feel like personally, as you know, when it comes to American film, I think we're still trying to figure out how, like, what the best way to treat racism is in film, you know?
Yeah.
But speaking of which, last year when it came to Green Book,
That got a lot of hate.
it did. And, you know, I think that, like, personally, when it comes to, like, if you want to talk movies with, like, a political message or something like that, I mean, I kind of thought that Sorry to Bother You had more to say than Green Book did. I thought that even if Beale Street Could Talk had more to say than Green Book did. I liked Green Book, but I didn't really think it had that much to say. And, you know, for the record, I also didn't really think that Black Panther had a tremendous amount to say either. You know, I thought that I loved the amount, like how much they put in it. I like all the details and the costume design and everything, but personally, I kind of felt like the film itself didn't really amount to more than what was expected of it. You know, so that's, I don't know.
I was surprised by all the nominations.
Yeah, me too. And I knew it was going to get nominated for a lot of things because they were showing clips from it the previous year, you know. But yeah, I don't know. The Oscars, like, I'm never really old. I'm honestly never satisfied with them. I'm not even gonna watch them this year. So I didn't watch them last year. I mean, and I don't know. Like, I think the last time the Oscars really pissed me off was the year that La La Land quote unquote won, and then it didn't. Like, which I stupidly turned off the TV like after La La Land got the announcement as Best Picture. I'm like, this is so stupid. I'm never watching the Oscars again. I turned off the TV. And then Moonlight, you know, the next day, like, my friend was like, oh, did you hear that Moonlight won Best Picture? I'm like, haha, good one. Like, you know, just thinking that he was like kidding around with me because he was with me, like, when I got all mad about La La Land. But yeah, no, it turned out Moonlight had won, and it was disappointing for me to miss that because that was the film I was rooting for that year. So, but anyway,
I didn't see either of them.
Oh well,
Yeah,
they're
me
both
neither.
they're both good, but Moonlight's a better movie, and I highly recommend that one. So
I own it. I just haven't watched it yet.
it's definitely it's definitely emotional, and it hit me deep. I mean, I really Barry Jenkins, I think I really just I'm like obsessed with him now. I want to just see everything he makes basically at this point. Because I've only seen Moonlight and the film he did after, If Beale Street Could Talk, and both of those were outstanding films. So he's definitely like a director that I want to follow for sure. So yeah,
I've heard good things about If Beale Street Could Talk.
yeah, it was great. Again, I mean, if you get emotional watching movies, like, you'll definitely get emotional watching that one. So, and same with Moonlight. There were some really heavy moments in that made me choke up a lot. You know, I think when a film can really get you like in the gut, you know, I always appreciate that. So,
yeah.
And I'd have to say this year, like Parasite was the biggest gut puncher of all the best picture or of all the film nominated. Yeah. So
It was intense. I
Yeah.
loved it.
yeah. But yeah, ultimately though, with all that in mind, at my core, maybe it's just me being pessimistic. I still think The Irishman's gonna win Best Picture. I don't know, but I know though that if it doesn't, there's gonna be a big uproar. So because I know a lot of hardcore Martin Scorsese fans, and a lot of people who are just like, oh, it's got to go to The Irishman. I know people who are really, really hardcore about The Irishman winning.
Yeah. It was
I
a
didn't-
long one.
Yeah.
Uh,
It was boring. I couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved it a lot, but it was a movie that I had to be in the right mood for, and ultimately, like, as good as it was, it definitely wasn't perfect. In my opinion, it wasn't perfect at all. I mean, even you agree that the visuals didn't always look, as good as it could have. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, you mentioned it being really long. It honestly is too long. And the thing that really kind of bites about that is I don't really know what they could have taken out of it, because I did think that ultimately the film flowed pretty well. To me personally, it didn't feel super long, but it was. And really, I mean, as good a film it is, I didn't think that it was good enough that it deserved to be over 200 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, so.
I don't think it did.
Yeah.
I think it's 1917 is gonna win Best Picture.
Yeah. I really wouldn't be surprised if it did. So anyway, I don't know. Do either of you have any more thoughts? Or,
No.
I don't know. Do you want to share your thoughts on any of the Best Picture nominees? Or because you saw most of them,
I
right?
saw most of them except
Okay.
for Ford v Ferrari
Okay.
and Little Women.
Okay. And then what was that you said?
I don't know what I was gonna say. Right.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Well, I mean, let's see. So yeah. So you do want to read them off, or?
Yeah, it's 1917,
Okay.
The Irishman,
All right.
Ford v Ferrari, Little Women, Joker, Jojo Rabbit, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Marriage Story, and Parasite.
Okay. So how many of those have you seen?
Let me look at it. Saw The Irishman, saw Joker, saw Marriage Story, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite.
Okay. All right. Cool. What did you think of them? Or actually, I mean, well, okay, I could share my thoughts on the ones that I saw that you guys didn't. I mean, just kind of really briefly. I liked Little Women. I thought that was pretty good. But that's not really necessarily the kind of movie that's going to appeal to everybody. And Greta Gerwig, I guess a lot of people are mad that she didn't get a nomination for Best Director. But honestly, I didn't really think it was as well directed as Lady Bird. And I thought Lady Bird was a better movie. And I only reiterate that because people keep comparing the two, and they're really nothing alike. Little Women I thought it was fine. And then Ford versus Ferrari, I actually liked that one quite a bit. The racing scenes were really well done, and Christian Bale, I mean, he never ceases to really captivate me. I mean, he is a big part of what makes that movie, as engaging as it is. It's actually a pretty interesting story. I was surprised by how much I liked it. So anyway, so okay. So then all right, what was one that you saw?
Marriage Story. Let's go with that
Okay.
one.
Okay, so what were your thoughts on that one, both of you?
I enjoyed it. It was a nice little,
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too, but I don't think it was Baumbach's best, at least in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Yeah. I think when right after I saw it, I was kind of like, wow, that's that was amazing. But as time goes on, it's kind of died down a little bit in my mind. I still really liked it. I still liked that it had like his sense of humor, and it still had like a lot of really great moments in it. But I'd have to agree with you, it's not his best film. I don't know, what in your opinion, what's his best film?
I should either Francis Ha or Greenberg are my favorites.
Yeah. My favorite is, I still have to say, is The Squid and the Whale.
That's one I haven't seen yet.
Oh yeah, that one's really good actually. For some reason, that's just the one that I just felt. I don't know. That's the one that just feels closest to my heart. I don't know why. I rewatched it a little while ago, like earlier this year, and yeah, no, that was a really well done movie. Anyway, okay, yeah. What's another one on the list? Or yeah, what's The Irishman? Pretty much, you gave your thoughts on that one. I kind of gave my thoughts. I don't know. Overall, like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna win it.
yeah,
It's just too long and meandering.
yeah. What did you think of it overall?
It was all right.
Yeah.
I like The Departed more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I hate to say it, but I think I enjoyed The Departed more as well. Like,
Yeah.
I think The Departed was more my kind of movie.
Yeah.
Let's see. Joker.
It's all right.
I mean,
I like Joaquin Phoenix.
I like the movie for Joaquin Phoenix. Like, I think he is the movie. Like,
Yeah.
basically, like Joker, I thought was amazing as an experience. Like, meaning like it was an amazing character study, but like everything else about the movie wasn't really that amazing. Like, visually it looked fine, like there was nothing really wrong with it, but the only thing that made it special was Joaquin Phoenix,
Yeah,
I think.
I'd agree with
Yeah.
that.
So, but I don't know. What did you think?
I thought it was good.
Yeah.
I mean, like everyone says, it's very derivative of Kings of Comedy and Taxi Driver, but
Yeah. I would have
Still-
to agree.
still good.
Yeah. Okay. The next film on the list is which one? Oh, okay. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Anybody have any thoughts they want to share on that one? I mean, I really liked it a lot. It
I
was a
liked it
very
a lot,
entertaining
too.
movie. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Pitt and DiCaprio.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I liked it a lot. It's just not my favorite Tarantino movie,
Yeah.
for sure.
I think I would agree. I mean, I think my favorite might always be Reservoir Dogs. I don't know why. I just really love that movie for
yeah,
some
that's
reason.
probably my favorite. I think.
Yeah. But it was another good one though. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So. Parasite, I think we all pretty much agree on. It's pretty extraordinary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did too. And then, okay, Jojo Rabbit. I think is that one I didn't say yet.
Yeah.
Okay, so you did not see that one yet.
Not yet. No.
Okay, and you saw it, right?
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, and you loved it.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
was really cute.
it was. Yeah, no, I agree. I'm glad it got nominated, for best picture.
Yeah.
I doubt it's gonna win,
No, definitely
but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Which ones? Is there any I haven't said yet? Oh, 1917. I don't think I said yet. Yeah, I kind of gave my thoughts to you guys before. It was good, but like, it's a war movie. It's not really my thing. I mean, it was a well done film. It was very well done experience. They did a good job, like making it kind of a seamless and flow really well. But yeah, beyond that, I mean, I don't think I'd watch it again. personally. So,
I like the one-shot films that do that.
yeah,
So I appreciated that one.
yeah,
Actually, I think it's gonna win anyway.
yeah.
I'm assuming.
I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, cool. So I guess I don't know. Do either of you have anything more to say? Or...
No.
No, about covers it.
Yeah, I think so. All right. Well, until next time, peace out, and yeah, have a good night.
Yeah, have a good night.
Bye.